It's 10 o'clock Mountain Time. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for Tom and Shane Business and Politics. So we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. And happy to be along with you today. And of course, we got an election coming up in 30 some days, Shane. So we're going to make the award winning Tom and Shane. We're going to predict the 2022 midterm election. And will we be right? We are on the record, Shane. We are on the record.
That's right.
On
and,
this one.
and oddly enough, from a non-American point of view, it's totally different than yours. And with what's going on globally, we see this election in Brazil now as a runoff between a conservative and a liberal. The Italians have elected their first prime minister. That's a woman. That's a nationalist conservative. Several other countries in Europe are basically taking the same route. In Belgium, and I mean, Italy's amazed me because this is like their, I don't know what, something like their 68th or 69th government since World War II.
I know.
They have elections like dirty underwear. They're doing their laundry
once a week.
They have them so often. Yeah, I know. It's pretty remarkable. So it appears that with the nature of what's happening globally, which I think is important to consider before you jump into these elections, I'd like to give some context. I really view these elections on a global basis. I give Americans more credit, particularly people that vote that are aware not just of the U.S. economy but global economies, because when most Americans go to the store, I mean, especially places like Costco, the stuff they buy is global. And Costco works on a volume basis, but understandably, the fact is that the things that you buy so inexpensively there that are things you don't need really, but you look at a oversized candle and a iron holder with glass.
What does this have to do with the election?
That's what I'm talking about. It does. So with the U.S. dollar strengthening and the other dollars weakening and the economies of the world looking in really rough shape, I think that'll be the decision factor. Will be the economy, but we'll see if we're right. If it's the election's stupid or it's the economy's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I'll make the first prediction right off the bat. The Republicans are going to lose the Senate and they're going to lose the House.
Okay.
It's gonna stay in Democrat hands for a couple reasons. One is abortion is on the block. Particularly in the Senate races, which we're going to cover here in a second. The Senate races, people are fearful that the Senate is going to, if the Republicans control the Senate, they're going to enforce a abortion ban, total ban of abortions. And that's in every state. Most of the states I've looked at, abortion is an issue on the ballot. Like it or not, it's there. So I think that's going to knock them out.
I don't think that's the principal issue. Of course, that's why this is going to be a good conversation, brief as it may be. I think it's the economy. I think it's a concern about the policy with regards to the warmongering that's being shouted around by everyone. Plus, I think inflation is a big one because it just hits people hard right away. With the price of gas now, even going back up again in California and food. But I don't agree with you. I think that the Republicans will pick up at least 2 Senate seats, perhaps as many as 4 or 5. And I think they'll pick up at least 20 to 25 in the House, given that's historically basically what the number is. But if even in the next 2 or 3 weeks numbers aren't any good with the economy, I think it could turn into something bigger, and maybe they pick up 40 or 50, even 60 seats in the House. So that's my call.
Well. Right now in the Senate, 14 Democrats, 21 Republicans are up. 21 Republicans have got to win just to almost stay even, Shane.
We'll run through these real quick.
49.
Yeah, in Alabama, it's Richard Shelby, Republican. He's ahead by 15. Alaska, Lisa
Oh, wait,
Murkowski.
whoa.
What? What?
You're not going to go through 50 states.
No. I'm just going to quickly go through the ones that are up for election, because then you can call it one way or the other. I'm not going. I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to go through everyone. I'm going to go through the ones that people are looking at. Arizona is the first one. Mark Kelly, who is a replacement. They have him behind and the Republican ahead by 2. What's your call?
Yeah, in Arizona, that's going to be probably one of the most interesting elections. Kelly had a 5-point lead at one time. Again, Masters, he's attempted to moderate his abortion position since he won in August, and he got a Trump endorsement. But a recent court decision there allowed the enforcement of a 1901 state ban on nearly all abortions, and that's given Democrats extra fodder for the Republicans to go down in that state. So
okay, so you don't think the Republicans will take Arizona?
It's going to be awfully close. They're a 5-point. It depends on that abortion deal, and I think it's pretty powerful.
Colorado, I guess, is the next one. People have been talking about it. Michael Bennett is there, and they most polls still have him ahead. It'll be interesting. That'll be another interesting possibility for the Republicans, but it's too, for me, it's too tight to call. I think it'll be decided on election day, and then we skip down, of course, to the big Georgia election. Raphael Warnock. Yeah. Warnock.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. And you think he'll keep his seat?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt about it. Yeah. Interestingly enough, Shane, this will be the first time in history that there's been multiple Senate races in the same year with black candidates, Warnock and the football guy. His name just left me. Russell, or whatever the hell his name is. Jesus. Anyway, and in South Carolina, it's Tim Scott is running against Christy Matthews. So that's the first time in history. Just a little trivia to throw out there for you.
Yeah, I think Illinois could be interesting. I mean, Tammy Duckworth, of course, she's I believe a veteran and so forth, and
she's a disabled veteran, by the way.
Yeah, she's a disabled veteran, and they still have her winning. But things that have happened in Illinois it'll depend on how people decide to vote and how many Democrats decide to switch and vote Republican. So let's see with regards.
I don't see her in any danger whatsoever.
New Hampshire, there's a possibility that Maggie Hassan might lose to, I think it's Sununu, or that's running against her, the son. Or no, he's governor. Anyway, that's a possible pickup for the Republicans. We'll see again on election day what the good people of New Hampshire, such a small place. It's funny watching the election returns because they're only in the tens of thousands, right? Because it's just, it's quite funny.
Well, once again, the Republicans wanted Sununu to run for that seat.
Yeah.
Because he was an abortion rights supporting nominee. And again, abortion raises its ugly head in these elections. That they've both been touting the abortion issue in their things and or their campaign ads. And Biden carried the state by 7 points. But we'll see where that one comes down.
Yeah, that's true. No. So I guess we skip down, and I guess the most likely one to look at is again Oregon, because these are the states that probably Oregon and Washington, I think, are pretty likely to be tight. Oregon has the Democrat who's the incumbent. Ahead, but there is again one of these things that you talk about. Pennsylvania is fascinating. Pat Toomey owes his Senate seat to Trump because he
Mm-hmm.
endorsed
Yeah.
him in 2016. That's why he's retiring because he doesn't like Trump anymore, and Trump told
Mm-hmm.
him,
Yeah.
with what you've done in the Senate, I'm going to run candidates against you, and so he decided to retire. And as you know, it's the
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Oz and the
Mm-hmm.
trustee baby for the woke Democrats. So we'll see where that. But you think the Democrats will keep or take it?
Yeah, I do. Fetterman, I can't imagine a worse candidate than Fetterman. Watching this guy, it's remarkable to me that anybody even gives him any credibility at all.
But you think you'll win? You think
I
you'll
think
take
he's
top
going to
of the
win because Oz's comments during the primary about abortion,
Okay.
and he's tried to walk that back. Plus, he's a doctor. That's another strike against him in the abortion situation. Well, no matter what kind of doctor it is, if you got doctor in front of you, you're, you got some thought about abortion, and Fetterman's favorability ratings are also consistently higher than Oz's. So, man, I can't even believe a Senate with Fetterman in it, but that would be the way it goes.
So the final one, I think that's a possibility for a pickup is Washington, Patty Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything that's gone on in Seattle with the COVID and the burning and the destruction and some local races there, including the governorship, which we'll talk about in a minute. We'll see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
It appears it's pretty solid for her because she's been there for what, I don't know. This is her
Mm-hmm.
third time up. So this is her. She'll be going into another 6 years and after 12, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see how it's going to be very interesting to see how tight these are.
Yeah. Well, the big race, to me anyway, is Florida. Rubio and Val Demings. This is a big race because in fact, the entire state was just damaged by a hurricane. And I don't know if people are going to be concerned about going to vote in 30 days when they don't have a home or they can't, the highways aren't open yet, or any number of things, Shane, that could happen down there.
Well,
Polling places, the whole, mail. I mean, everything is a mess.
Well, not only that, but the Republican part of the state is what got hit. From Sarasota all the way across.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah,
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
Mm-hmm.
So the southern part of the state that tends to be more liberal, the Miami and south, and tends on that side of the coast. The East Coast didn't get hit, so they're going to have to work extra hard, the Republicans, to make sure that they get all their people on the Panhandle. The eastern part of the Panhandle got whacked, and of course, as I said, Sarasota across to Orlando. So that may very well play into that election. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also going to play into the gubernatorial election of DeSantis.
Possible. That's possible. Although I do think he's got a pretty good support in the southeastern part of the state.
Well, support doesn't have anything to do with it. It's whether or not people can get to the polls or not.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the southeastern part of the state ones and hit in the Miami region.
Well, Dade County is the only one that's the problem in South Florida. The rest of it, the Cuban community is all Republican.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people in that part they see the work that he's done, and I think he's done a remarkable job. He's the only one that's been real about the whole COVID issue. Stood up to the government, stood up to the FDA, stood up to the teachers unions and everyone else. So we'll see. But I do believe you're right about that. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. You went to gubernatorial. Is that
I only mentioned it because of Florida.
Okay. Well, we're done with the Senate.
That's the only reason. Yeah, that's what
let's go on to the governorships here.
Yeah, but I don't think the issues matter at all in Florida. It's whether or not people can get to the polls or not. It's and if there are polling places, or if they do it by mail, how's the mail going to? Roads are out, streets are out. It's a mess down there, and
Yeah,
we've
it
only
is.
got 30 days to fix it.
So moving on to the governor's
Yeah,
races, the one that
sure.
stuns me the most is Gavin Newsom.
Hmm.
I really, I know he'll probably get reelected, and probably
Yeah.
by a significant amount, but I
Mhm.
just don't know what it takes for Californians to look at San Francisco and LA
I
and
know.
their
Well,
backyards are
that's
pretty
the whole thing. Is those San Francisco, L.A., and um,
San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah, the other one. Um, yeah, because on 2021 they tried to recall this guy. I mean, they got enough. They got enough signatures to get a recall on the ballot,
Yes.
and they still didn't get rid of him.
Yeah, I know. It's
So,
pretty
and plus
remarkable.
he's got aspirations for the presidency as well, Shane, as you know.
Of course he does.
So I don't think.
He's the only one on their bench.
Well, well, he and Mayor Pete
Yeah, right.
and
Yeah.
AOC, she'll be old enough a month before the 2024 election to run. So that's their, and they are looking for younger people. They're tired of Bernie. They're tired of Elizabeth Warren. They're tired of these old guys. They need some. They need somebody in there like another Kennedy, or somebody like that. So yeah, I agree with you. I think California is done like dinner. So
So the
that's going to be
Democrat in
a.
Colorado, Jared Poles,
Mhm.
Polis, he or
Mhm.
Poles,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a tight race for governor. We'll see where that
Mhm.
goes. I
Yeah.
guess the best one that we talked about DeSantis, Ron DeSantis already. So Georgia,
Mhm.
Kemp is probably strong enough to maybe hold that governor seat in Georgia, although a lot of Republicans are upset with how he handled the election, but we'll see if that interferes with it.
Mhm.
The next one is Pritzker. He's running again in Illinois.
Yeah.
That's why this is going to be
Mhm.
interesting, because along with the Senate race, yeah,
Mhm.
he's one of the benefactors of the Hilton empire,
Mhm.
and a billionaire, and so we'll see. But Illinois is just across the board been so
Yeah.
poorly run. We'll see where that one goes. Maine
Well,
is
the problem with Illinois is you got Chicago.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
The whole rest of the state's red. So all you got to
yeah.
do is campaign in Chicago, and you're done.
That's right. Well, that's right. So whether they're tired of their mayor and even him,
Mhm.
we'll see. Again, this it's going to be interesting, because
Mhm.
this is going to really determine whether people want to proceed with this woke agenda,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that's where this will go. That's why it's so important. Maine.
Well, the
Uh,
problem with all these cities, Shane, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, you name
Boston,
it,
Baltimore, New
Baltimore,
York,
yeah,
Washington D.C.
all of these. Nobody is looking to the Republican Party. They're looking for, where is the Democrat that's going to turn this around? Not where's the Republican that's going to turn this around. Where's the Democrat that's going to turn this around? And I'll keep voting for Democrats till I get one that will fix this.
Okay.
That's
That's sort of a sad state of affairs for a
Well, it is,
person.
but that's what it is. I mean, that's what it's been for years. Chicago, New York have been Democrats since the beginning of time.
So Michigan, this is a
Mhm.
great one with Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah,
I think
what a piece
again,
of work she is.
yeah, and I just think that maybe the people of Michigan, they're thrown in the towel on the Democratic Party.
Mhm.
We'll see. And
Yeah.
Minnesota's weird, because it's the
Mhm.
governorship there is up for grabs. Tim Walz has got a
Yeah.
pretty good lead, but again, after COVID and the destruction of the state, you look at it and you go, oh, well, okay. Um,
Mhm.
One I want to really look at is Nevada, because again, that will determine a lot too with regard to the House. The Democrats
Mhm.
running again, but it's a toss up. I think we'll see how. I
Mhm.
mean, if they vote, if the entertainment industry, the maids and butlers and
Mhm.
bus boys vote Republican, then that'll be an
Yeah.
interesting situation to occur there. New
Mhm.
Mexico is
Well,
somewhat of
hang
a
on, hang
maybe.
on, hang on, hang
What?
on, hang on. Do I get to comment on any of these?
Oh, yeah, because unless I thought you agreed, so I'm sorry.
No. Well, I'm saying what might determine this in Nevada is that Slovak got 49% of the vote the last time and running for second term. But Lombardo is a sheriff down there. He's Clark
Hmm.
County sheriff, and if they're fed up with the border and law and order, he's got a shot. But boy, it's a remote shot, but he's got one.
Mm, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next.
So Sununu, I guess in New Hampshire, I mean, I think it's pretty safe, but the Democrats have spent a lot of money there to try and beat him. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see where that goes, but and whether
Mm-hmm.
that his success again as governor and the son of
Yeah.
the previous governor, we'll see how that lines up. It's interesting how some of these eastern or these blue states, aren't called purple because, especially in the Northeast, where they have a Republican governor, like in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, right? But
Yeah.
but they have
Every other district is.
Democratic senators. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, in this case,
Um,
Sununu got 65% of the vote when he ran last time.
yeah,
And Tom Sherman, being a Democrat, this could, or being a physician, this could play into the abortion idea as well. Shane, they might feel we need a doctor, Democrat doctor, in there
hmm.
to stop abortion. So,
So we move down to really quick. Let's go back to Pennsylvania with this because Tom Wolf
mhm,
is a Democrat and he's term limited.
mhm,
So they do, they'll probably again that Senate vote may affect it because if Oz wins, it's one of
mhm,
these things. If Oz wins, then I think the Republican for governor will win. It's one to me. That's the
mhm.
way That's just how I look at it.
Well, yeah, I agree with you there that many times, and that's why we're talking about these governors for states that, half the people listening to us don't live in. Um, the governor can many times pull the senator and the representatives
Hmm.
on his coattails or her
That's right. Yeah,
coattails. So
exactly.
that's what makes it kind of that's why we're covering the governors as well. Fetterman was a lieutenant government, so he's not an unknown in Pennsylvania. Oz hasn't run before, I don't think, for anything. You've got a known against an unknown, and
Well, I don't
that,
think Dr. Oz is unknown to the people.
well,
He's had a
yeah,
television
he's
show
he's
for years.
unknown. He's unknown in politics. Let's put
Yes,
it that way.
yeah,
But
but
Donald
yeah,
Trump was
but
too.
that's
So,
right. Texas,
we'll
I
see.
don't think Greg Abbott will have an issue with what he's doing there. I don't think Christy
Not with
Nolan,
O'Rourke. Yeah, not with O'Rourke.
no, and I don't think Christy
Certainly.
Nolan in South Dakota will have a problem.
No. No.
But Vermont is interesting because here we go. It's a Vermont. It's a Republican. Bill
Uh-huh.
Scott, he got 68% of the vote last time around. But
Yeah.
a lot of people think that the Democrats might win this state in this
Yeah.
governorship. So that'll
Well,
be
you're in Bernie territory there, of course.
yeah, that's
So
right.
we'll see. They can certainly pull it out. That's like Carolina with Claiborne. The whole state is, or
Yes.
South Carolina, I should say, the whole state's Democrat or a Republican, except for his district. And
Yeah, it's
he,
quite
and he,
amazing.
and to show the power, he was the guy that gave the nomination to Biden.
That's right.
So these guys, these Democrats have a lot of pull in the state, regardless of what the demographic or the color of the state is. So they can turn the people out, and that's
Yeah.
that's what I was saying about Florida. Are the people are they gonna say, hey, I'm gonna kiss this election off because I got to build my house or fix my street or something? So I don't know. Florida's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Wisconsin's I think important to talk because I think it's a toss up. The Democrat Tony Evers is running again. He got 49.5% of the vote last time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think again, I think this is going to be the economy and COVID and the destruction in the state and what happened there. And I think there's a good chance that the Republicans could pick this seat up and this governorship. And the governorships are important because they set agenda for the country. They're basically potential. If identified, they potentially could run for president, like the governor in California and so on and so forth, or in Florida or Texas. And before we move to the House, I just want to say again, my position is very simple. If the Republicans take the House and the Senate, Trump runs again. But if they don't take both, if they only take one or the other, or they lose both, like you think, Trump won't run. He's not going to run with a Congress against him. He just, there's no point in it.
Yeah.
So let's run to the House real quick.
All right, real quick. Hang on before you get too excited here. Slow down.
No, I'm looking at the time. I'm just...
What time?
Okay, go.
All right. As we know, all the House of Representatives, all seats are up every 2 years. And we've got 49 representatives and 1 non-voting delegate. 30 Democrats and 20 Republicans are retiring, 17 of whom, 9 Democrats and 8 Republicans, are going somewhere else. They're going for mayors of big cities. They're going for attorney generals. They're going for Senate from the House.
Or going home.
Yeah, or going home. One of those. So
yeah, there are 435 members of the House.
Yes,
but 4 of them are just representatives. They don't vote.
Yeah.
So you need 218 seats for a majority.
Right.
Right now, the Democrats hold a 222 or a 4-seat majority, and the Republicans are 213. Yeah. So they only need, they only need to win 5, take 6 seats away from the Democrats, and the Republicans take control. But so
do they really though? Do they really? And I'll tell you why I say that. Republicans are notorious for not voting with the party. Democrats, they've got blinders on. They're in a tunnel. I mean, there's no escape to the right or left. Republicans come to Wise and 5 streets going one way or the other. And so I think they're going to need more of a majority than just 5 to get anything done.
Well, I agree with you, but I'm just, for people watching, I just wanted to give them an understanding how close this is.
Yeah, no, it's close.
There's been several interim elections. At the end of 2020, the Republicans had 209 seats. So since then, they've picked up 3, and in special elections. So that that's sort of important to recognize that's been something that's worked well for them.
Yeah, it has.
So did you have any congressmen in particular that you're looking at, or there's...
Well, you got to go to California, obviously. Nancy Pelosi, California District 11, up 37 points. You've got Eric Swalwell, the well-known the loudmouth of the House. He's up 22. And let's see who else we got in there. We got somebody else in there. Adam Schiff, I think, is in here somewhere too, if I can find him. But anyway, he's up again. Yeah, he's up 23. So that's the bad that's the bad news from there. The only Republican might be Darrell Issa, and that's redistricted, and so he will probably retain his seat, I'm guessing. So, but yeah, these other folks are. It's going to be a Democrat shoe-in in California, as it always is.
Unless they've made a determination, the people of California, that I've had enough. Well,
they should have. You would think they would have had enough when they recalled Newsom, but they didn't. So,
well, that was a plurality.
And they went for Biden. So,
that was a plurality vote. So it's just one of those situations where, the left has a very, look, the left has a 31% solid footing, and they always vote. The Republicans have a 34. So that's the rest is independents, undecided,
right,
and libertarians in the middle. So the plurality vote on both parties results in how many in the middle or how many crossovers make the difference.
Yeah.
I really think that the libertarians, undecided, and independents will probably move to the Republican side because of so many reasons, demographics and work and so forth. I mean, the Democrats have done everything they can to buy everyone's vote in every age group, every demographic. So,
well, California once again is going to be abortion.
I just hope the October surprise from Biden will be another big check for everybody with Social Security. That would probably help.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but California, as you say, it's one of these states where either party, wherever they are, whatever district it is, like the Republicans are ahead 16 or 8, just like the Democrats.
Yeah.
9, 4, 12. Congressman, people have never heard of, but as you say, the Congress people that people have heard of are probably safe, and that's why they say what they say, because they can say anything and feel that their group, their support, their voting bloc will be with them.
Yeah.
Like Maxine Waters is a perfect example. I mean, District 43, it's LA, 32 points. She's up from.
Yeah.
And she's been there since 1990. 1990.
I know. Anybody who listens to her is
32 years. That's 16 elections.
I know that's beyond help if you listen to Maxine. But as I said, the Democrats are not waiting for a Republican to change things. They are waiting for the next big Democrat, and they're going to keep voting Democrat until that Democrat comes along.
Yeah, well, they thought Obama would do it, and he made it worse. And then they thought that Biden would because he was with Obama, and they didn't think, and of course that, the 2020 election was a walk back, meaning people went back to their party. They didn't, stay with the Republicans. They went back to the Democrats. So, yeah, I hope we'll see, that basically change, but not likely. So. Next state's Colorado. We're not going to go through all of these. What other state do you think that might make a difference?
Well, I don't think any state's going to make a difference in the
the House.
Yeah, in the House.
But if where do you think the Republicans are going to pick up 5 to 60 seats? I mean, that's what you're looking at, right?
Well, they're going to have to pick them up in the red states, and I don't see any red states where that's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. I mean, if you got one, point it out. Show me one
I do. I think
Republicans running ahead.
I think in Illinois. I think in Michigan. I think in Arizona, Nevada. I definitely think, in Texas and. I think that Wisconsin, Michigan, I think all of these states that have had really bad management and suffered terribly, not just because of COVID, not with COVID happening, but because of what happened with COVID, meaning all the destruction and the lack of law and order. It's an amazing plague for us because. When you look at it from the standpoint of the map that you can look at that shows all these states and shows you, I mean, you have such a wide gap between red states and seats in Congress, of course, to blue states with population because the House is predicated on population.
That's true.
The Senate is on equal representation.
But look at the last election, Shane. You've seen the map of the counties, right?
Yep, Trump took them all. He he was a wipeout again, like
Yeah.
in 2020. Yeah,
Okay.
but that didn't help him this time. Yeah,
No, I'm talking about the Biden Trump election.
I'm talking about it too.
Look at the counties. The whole country's red.
I'm looking at that, but if you
Yeah.
look at the map for Congress too, and where the seats presently exist, it's all red. There's 85% of the counties are Republicans. So,
We'll see.
but once again, like in Montana, you have a new
We have a new seat.
representative.
We have a new seat. Yeah.
You have a new seat, and it stretches from the Canadian border almost all the way to Bozeman. Like it goes.
Yeah. It does.
I mean, down to the southern side of the Missouri River.
Well, you're going to have half the state for one representative and half the state for the other. So that's how.
But that's so weird. I mean, they didn't.
Why is it weird?
Well, because they, instead of breaking your state up by area, they broke it up, of course, by voters, and they included the most Democratic cities in this new seat. Missoula, Great Falls, Glacier County, Whitefish, Kalispell.
Yeah.
These are all very liberal places, so it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, it is. Let's look at a couple of comments, Shane. Bruce got a couple here. I agree with Shane. It's the economy. Cost of fuel, milk, and bread are all doubled in 2 years. And 16 governor races, 5 are red. Can we pick up another 5? Well, maybe so. And Linda disagrees with me. I predict the Republicans will take the Senate and the House.
Thank you, Linda.
And we shall see, because
she is my sweetheart, not yours. Nanny.
I know.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate the support there, kiddo.
All right. Well, it's going to be interesting. We've only got 30 some days. A lot can happen in 30 days. Nobody knew we were going to have a hurricane in Florida.
And you know what's really remarkable?
What?
We're going to be having a podcast that day.
I know. Yeah.
On election day. So
it'll be too early in the morning though to figure anything out. So we'll have to do it.
I don't think so. I think they'll we'll still have stuff to talk to, because it'll depend on what's happened since then. Like in Florida, DeSantis working his butt off to get that state up and running, pal. I mean,
but the earliest polls won't close till 5 o'clock Mountain Time.
I know that, but they have exit polling and Eastern Standard
you can't
Time.
rely on that crap.
Okay.
I mean, we have to be credible. We can't. We can't rely on. We can't parrot the network's pie in the sky crap.
It doesn't matter about their pie in the sky. We got a breakfast bet on this, so it's.
Well, all right. There we go.
It's important to me. You owe me 3 breakfasts already.
Already, yeah. You're gonna be fat. Well, the border's open, so come on down and collect.
Well, I got to get my passport. I still haven't got it back.
Why is your passport somewhere not with you?
Because my government is like, in a fishbowl, I guess. I don't know.
They took your passport?
Huh?
It
expired in April, and I sent it in May, and I still haven't gotten it back. Still haven't gotten it back.
That's ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous. I had to pay for it.
Come on, you're a liberal state. You're a
country.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, you're in a liberal province, I should say, or whatever you call those things.
Yeah. Be nice. We're a commodity-oriented economy that supports you 100%. So
why not? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
So real quick, will international relations, like the war in Ukraine, the warmongering, if there's an October surprise, like Putin dumping a nuke in this war, wouldn't he? I know I shouldn't say this, but it's got to be said. No one else will. I mean, I could see him trying to push do that to push Americans to support the president and the Democratic Party in a time of war. I could see him do that, because he doesn't want
to what advantage? To what advantage?
To not allow the Republicans to get in.
And what does it matter? What does it matter?
Well, it's just a topic, Tom. I'm asking your
Okay,
opinion.
no, I'm just asking.
Okay, your answer is you don't care. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I do care. I just want to know
Would it impact
why does anything in Russia affect us?
Oh, so you don't think the warmongering and your support of Ukraine has anything to do with people's voting?
Well, no, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people are pissed that we're spending money over there, but nobody's feeling the pain of it. I mean, you get I haven't gotten a bill for the Ukraine war.
Yeah, you have. It's called inflation, and it's
that doesn't have
called
anything to do with the
interest.
That doesn't have anything to do with Ukraine.
It has everything to do with it
That
because
has
your
everything
sovereign,
to do with
your debt is so bloated, and now you're 51% of the global sovereign debt, and no one wants to talk about it, and if it has an impact. But okay, what about the market? Do you think the market's going to have any impact, having dropped 9 trillion in
9 trillion in a month?
Not in a month, but
over the last. It went down 3,600 points from the 12th to the 30th of September. So
I appreciate that, but the overall loss, the loss in the last month was close to 5, but the overall loss since Biden's taken over is 9. You don't think? You don't think that has any bearing on
the economy? The economy is going to be serious in states where where conservatives are, and they're going to vote the people back into office. So that's not going to change seats.
And do you think this Republican running in New York, for the governor, has any chance?
No.
Okay.
Not a chance.
Okay.
You run God against a Democrat in New York, and wouldn't happen.
This from the guy who said that if Hillary shot the Pope on the White House lawn, she'd still win.
She'd still win. Yeah.
Well, she shot him.
Well, okay, if you say so. All right.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts here? I think we both made it clear. You think the Republicans are going to take the House and the Senate? I do not. And so where do we go from
and
here?
I also think if they don't, Trump doesn't win. If they take both houses, it'll be Trump and DeSantis for president, vice president 24, with DeSantis getting to be president for 2 terms, in 28 and 32.
Yeah. I will predict DeSantis is not interested in the least in being vice president under Trump. That won't happen.
Well, they're pretty good friends.
Well, they may be friends, but DeSantis doesn't want to be the second banana.
Well, if you end up the banana twice, it's a pretty good trip. I mean, Biden did it. Biden did it. Biden had to do it. Had to be vice president for 8 years, but he did it.
Well, yeah, but look at Biden's no DeSantis.
No, but DeSantis only has to wait 4 years. So, I mean, if Trump doesn't win, it's either Abbott or DeSantis, and I think DeSantis wins because they can't win the election without Florida, but Texas is not even close to purple. I mean, it's like about as hard red as you can make it.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Well, I don't know. In my estimation, Trump's done like dinner. No way he'll get the nomination if he can run if he wants to, but he's not getting the nomination.
No, we have
too much baggage, too much problem.
Again, another breakfast bet. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay. I'm ready to collect on that one.
Yeah,
that's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've taken up enough time for everybody and given them all the information they need if they haven't been paying attention.
Except for what's on the screen. Yeah.
I'm going to let you get there. You said closing thoughts. I'm just saying thank you to everyone that joined us today, and hope you got the information with regards to the election across your country. It's a great thing.
That's right. Well, Shane and I will talk more about this on our radio show, which is every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. You can listen live at kmmsam.com. Click listen now. Nothing to join, no signups, no email, no joining of anything. You just go over there and do what you're doing right now, listening to us for free. No problem. And if you'd like a sample of what we do on our radio show, there are past shows, including this one will be up shortly. That's also at kmmsam.com. Click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you will be taken over there to all of our great shows and all of that. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. If you're a YouTube listener and watcher, hit the subscribe button. Nothing will happen to you. You might win the lottery. I can't guarantee that, but you never know.
But you won't disappear.
No, you won't disappear. Aliens will not come down and get you, I promise you. Ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified, no matter what time zone you're in, of our next podcast. And like us, leave a comment, because YouTube likes that kind of stuff. And Shane and I both write on medium.com. Medium.com, go over there. There's a link in the description below for our articles and our thoughts on various topics. So get over and check that out. If you'd like to help us out monetarily, there is some cost involved in putting this on flawlessly as we do. But hey, we would love your support, and we'll do lots of great things for you if you do that. And we do these on StreamYard, so if you'd like to do them yourself, there's a link to a free version in the description below. A couple more comments here real quick, Shane. Let's see. Linda says, thanks. I bet you a steak you are wrong, Tom. All right, Linda.
That girl, Linda. You go all in, Linda.
When I get back to Illinois, we'll chat. We'll chat about that. So that'll be good. So let's see what else we got here. Trump DeSantis 2024. Then Trump bows out in 2 years. There you go. That's a thought there. What do you think, Shane?
No.
Don't think that'll happen, huh?
No.
All right.
No, Trump would never back out of anything. He's a winner. He's not.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. That's same with DeSantis. I don't think DeSantis wants to be the second running horse. So
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Tom's in Bozeman, Shane's in Kamloops, Canada, of all places.
Yo, baby.
That's where all the Vietnam deserters went. Right? They're all in Kamloops. All right. All right, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thanks for watching. Particularly all of you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, like us, leave a comment. We'd appreciate that very much. And we'll see you on our next podcast, which will be on Thursday. Bye for now.